Hi, this is Tashina.
And this is Jonathan.
And this is Abandoned Ship, podcast where we take you on a journey through Deep Space Nine.
And today we have the conclusion to the 3-part saga. Kicking off season 2, The Siege.
Yes. Episode 3. I didn't love the last two. I don't know, this kind of ended in a whimper for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, that happened.
And that's our podcast. See you next week as we discuss.
I actually thought the first one was solid. Set up some interesting dynamics, some thoughts. Second one didn't really carry them out, though. I think that's when it started to slip through.
Yeah, we talked about this some in the last episode. And I think when you have this many parts, 3 parts, but if your foundation is shaky, you don't have the follow through. Ugh, yawning just thinking about it. It's hard to really stick the landing when there's that foundation hasn't been set.
And even if the last 2 weren't great, there were ideas here that they could have at least explored. Like, maybe wouldn't have been great. But here, it's like the action episode. And I didn't care about any of the action.
Well, there wasn't much action. And yeah, then you don't really care about it when it happens.
Just a lot of like, oh, not much. I guess a lot happened, but not much happened.
Not really.
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah, we'll get into it.
We'll get into it.
There's some good parts, I thought, or stuff that I wanted to see more of, or focus more on that thing. But
yeah. Okay. So our cold open is pretty brief. It's just Cisco updating all the Federation officers on what's going on, what the Admiral told him, what they need to do. And he's pretty much asking for volunteers to stay, but he completely understands if they don't feel comfortable staying. Also, at this point, less than 5 hours until they're supposed to arrive. That's pretty much it in the cold opening. Is there anything else you want to add?
I mean, some of the stuff is nice. They talk about the entanglements that they have with the Bajoran people. They make that kind of feel real. Like, they point out like an ensign who's engaged to someone, someone who their kids work together on a prize-winning science fair project. You're like, but the only school is Keiko's. So it's just like, Keiko goes, yep, you get a gold star. I think they wrote that. If it just feels like a line that's meant to have more weight, like an award-winning science fair project. Like in a normal school, you have like national level. It's not just a school as a science fair project. Like these things go national, right? So they're big deals. But I don't think that same thing applies when you're talking about Keiko and her 15 kids.
It's funny you went there. I thought it was funny because the first person he talks to, like, her fiance is they're going to be separated
forever.
And then they moved to a science fair project. Like,
they talked about volcanoes.
These two are not the same leagues. But okay, I see where you're going, Cisco.
You had the background performer for the woman who's engaged giving an Oscar performance.
Yeah.
So, she does that later too. It's like, you're really trying to notice me. Look, I can act. Putting everything into this role.
She wants that sidecar real bad.
But it is nice to see that, to give them some context and weight to like why they're saying it's not just because the plot says so.
Yeah.
Like they try to make it make sense. I do think if you are going to, there's a lot of peer pressure going on here. Like, if you want to abandon us to the Bajorans, you can leave now. So obviously no one's going to leave. Generally how you want to handle that is, meet me here at such and such a time if you're willing to go forward. Yeah. That way everyone gets time to go talk to their families. O'Brien. And then be able to make a decision without that pressure. And then that sets you up for some classic film moments. There's always the trope of like, Cisco would come into like an empty office and be like, I figured. And then one person comes in. You're like, oh, okay, it's us 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then a bunch, like
then he would
the classic.
Like it would have been it's gravitas.
It's classic because it works. instead of just
and people are there
glaring at everybody down.
Yes, because people would be there.
If you're too cowardly, you can leave.
Because they want to be.
But I'll never think of you the same way again.
Yeah, no. Is this where a lot of the jokes start about Miles and him just like peace out to his family? Because literally 2 episodes ago he went on a suicide mission, and now he's just like bye. Without
That's
even,
why
like,
Keiko was upset, not because of just this. Like, you already tried to get yourself killed. Now you're gonna say her again.
Without he just.
And his response should have been, "Don't worry, honey. These guys haven't done shit. They won't do shit. There's no stakes here. I'm gonna be fine."
Like, okay, we're jumping ahead, but I am totally on Keiko's side because he didn't even give it a thought. It's not like he was like wrestling with it. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, Cisco pressured him, and now he can't go back on it. He didn't leave the room then. He can't leave now. But yeah, that's why you got to give these people a chance to go back and talk to their families.
I know. Okay, so after the credits or the opening, we're on the promenade and the hustle and bustle. We're going. Everybody's packing up, leaving. We have only so many seats aboard these ships. That sucks. Apparently, they have only so many seats to go.
I mean, yeah. I mean, the number of runabouts is known. They all have names.
Yeah.
So you can track throughout the show how many they have, and it's only like they say, like 2 or 3 at any given time.
But it's like they are telling people to evacuate. I think they would have sent an extra ship ahead.
I mean, I guess
yeah.
maybe they couldn't. It seems like they could have done more to put them on like other transports, though. I mean, assuming they do, there's definitely more people in the
Also, do they have to have a seat? Come on, we can go max capacity. Stuff them in.
Maybe they're talking about figuratively, like standing remotely. Yeah.
So, of course, Quark sees an opportunity where he wants to sell their seats. I'm doing air quotes right now. Sell their seats.
I thought the scene went on for too long. Like, we get the joke.
Yeah, it could have been a lot quicker. Because Rob's like,
there's a lot of.
What are you talking about? We can't sell our seats. No.
There's a lot of dead air just in there. The pacing of it was really slow.
Yes.
When this whole
I agree.
next couple sequences are all like energetic and stuff, and this just grounded to a halt. Because after this, they're talking about, we're gonna Quark and Rom, we're gonna sell seats and somehow make money off this. Okay.
Yeah.
We go into Jake and Nog, who are talking to each other, and they're trying to figure out, where each other's going, and turns out they're on different ships, which is sad.
They're going different directions.
Like this, I thought it was this kind of energy, this kind of thing with the evacuation is the stuff I liked.
Yes.
Where it feels there's enough of a sense of like dread and chaos.
Because they don't know if they'll ever see each other again.
Uncertainty, parting of ways, people being split up,
And Jake is like visibly upset because his life keeps changing. Like every year, it keeps getting upended. He's like, it's happening again. I make friends. And now we're evacuating. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, and apparently the runabouts are going to different planets, but
they're besties.
Yeah. Nog's like, there's never been a human and a Ferengi who have been better friends, so this won't keep us apart. So that was nice.
Yeah, Nog had a great moment here.
Odo comes in and stomps on it.
Of course. And then we get to go to the O'Brien's, and Keiko's having a fit because O'Brien's like, yeah, I'm saying. And Keiko's like, do we matter? Like, your place with us, does that matter? Because we need you, which is fair. It's like, you're part of our family. We need you. And I get that there is a struggle here of duty, helping others, doing the right thing, but you also have people that you have to do the right thing by. And this family that you supposedly love to pieces. Like, it's not that he made the wrong decision. It's just, again, there's no struggle there. That is what is upsetting to me.
Yeah.
Is he's just like, so sorry, honey, but I gotta do it. It's like,
they should have taken some of the screen time from some of the other scenes that weren't as good and put them into like them having, and that's the thing. Like, it should have been not just as a funny thing about like peer pressure, but also just like it should have been. He should have let them go. We should have seen these struggles, maybe from different people, from different perspectives. Maybe some do choose to leave, but
and maybe that's just the start. The Federation
I want to see them
way.
talk about it, not just him looking, because it looks like he's just it looks like he's just steamrolling and
and I think
I want to see a discussion.
This happens. I feel like this happens again where Miles kind of steamrolls Keiko and it's like, oh, well, this is my job. This is what I got to do. And kind of turns her a bit into like the nagging wife. And I think that's why some people don't like Keiko, because she's like the nagging wife. I feel like Miles sometimes does things that puts her in that position. And it's not fair to just dislike Keiko without discussing the choices that Miles makes to put her in these positions, to kind of corner her into almost being like the nagging wife, this 90s persona, because this is 98, so we're still in the 90s persona of relationships. So Keiko's it's not like she's my favorite. I just feel like sometimes she just seems misunderstood. And again, like Loxana becomes like a butt of the joke, where it's like, no, I get where they're coming from. Maybe it's not written great, but I see their position. I definitely see her position here. So yeah, any thoughts?
Yeah, no, that's about it.
Good. All right, so we're in Ops. They're trying to make a plan. Not gonna lie, I didn't catch all this. All that I got is that Kira and Dax have to sneak over to another Bajoran moon to get a janky old ship, so they can hopefully then get to the provisional government and show them the proof. Because they're kind of like locked where they cannot get this proof to the Bajoran government. And I don't know how we got to here. I just know this is the plan.
Yeah, because they tried communicating, but they're jammed, so they can't spare a ship, and so they're just going to take these janky ships. And that's about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Quark comes in. He's busted.
Turns out he's been selling seats, but he sold too many seats. Classic.
Like double booked?
Yeah, overbooked. And now he's got now there's too many people asking to leave.
And Cisco chokes him out a bit.
Yeah,
I was like, whoa.
That was pretty intense.
That was. I get Cisco is upset.
Or maybe hands off.
Maybe find another means to throttle Quark a bit. And he kind of gets his just rewards. So it's like, I don't think that was necessary. But because of Quark's wheeling and dealing, a little mini mob starts forming at the runabouts. Because now there's not enough seats. Was it Odo? Someone goes down to break up, and then trying to calm people down, and then Lenos comes through. And he starts scolding the Bajorans.
Yeah, because it's a bunch of Bajorans specifically at the airlock trying to leave.
They're not in immediate danger.
Not at least not as much.
Not as much. But he has a point, though. The non-Bajorans, they're in immediate danger. They need to leave. I understand why the Bajorans don't want to also be there.
Right.
But it's one of those instances like, yes, if there's only so many seats, the non-Bajorans have to go. And Lenos, he checks them for trying to leave before the others. And then we get a little send-off with Cisco and Jake. And Cisco gives them a letter. How many letters has Cisco given Jake over the years?
I'll add it to my collection.
And then Quark strolls up with a big old suitcase. A heavy one. We probably know what's in the suitcase.
Bodies.
And he's like, wait for me. But there's no more seats left. And it looks like Rom sold Quark's seat. So Quark is both probably really proud of Rom, but also like, oh shit, I'm stuck here. And really terrified. Because I think, other than the Federation people, it looks like, from what we see,
Right.
He's the only non-Bajoran left behind.
And the only one we've ever seen anything happen to at the hands of the Circle, so I'll give him that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because he was branded, yeah.
I totally forgot about that. He doesn't even mention it.
This is another one where I feel like all these scenes with him go on too long. They take away from more important stuff that would have helped establish the mood of the episode, and they ultimately don't really go anywhere. This is probably where it should have ended, because this is where he gets his comeuppance for trying to sell too many seats. But then we still get more later where he's trying to haul around the Latinum, like whole scenes with that, but that doesn't go anywhere. It just always felt like, not that the content of the scenes isn't fine, but they always just felt like there was a lot of dead air in them. They go on just a little bit too long. They could have really been tightened up, cut up a bit, so we can go back to other things, like that discussion with O'Brien and his family, or just other things to help set up the tension. And by this point, maybe it's too late, because again, like, Bajorans are coming okay, but as we talked about in the last episode, I don't feel like they've done enough in this whole thing to really sell the threat.
No.
Yes, they branded Quark, but it really has to feel like it's coming in from every side, not just a one-off thing. Yes, they kidnapped Kira, but that's because they wanted information from her. It's not like they cut up someone who they just didn't like. They sort of mention beatings and disappearances offhand, but I think it would have been, there should have been more actions of the Circle. Maybe it starts with the bring, but it should have kept up. There should have been maybe like sabotages, maybe kid disappearances on the station, stuff that would hit closer to home that we could see.
Especially since it's not really the Circle that is coming. It's more the military. It is.
It is. Yeah,
it is, but
it's unclear.
It's confusing. It confused me because I'm like, oh, the Circle is coming. But thing is, like, it's, I guess the second command is probably like gung-ho Circle, but I didn't know that he could have just been an asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that force is led by this guy who we know and seems to be a good, overall a good person.
Yes.
You don't really fear him and his actions. The other guy's almost too comically mustache twirling to take seriously.
And I think that also hurt with the tension. It's like, I didn't feel like, oh, the Circle's here. Oh, like they're in trouble if they get caught. Like it's going to be bad. You know what I mean? I didn't feel that, because even if they got caught, you have this general that kind of sympathetic towards them. So maybe it wouldn't be too bad. I don't know.
This whole thing is trying to draw from experiences like Iran happened at this point, right? What year was that? Okay, I don't know that for sure. But in my mind, that's what my mind goes to, like the Iranian Revolution, when the embassy was stormed. You're thinking of Vietnam.
Yeah.
You know, and the evacuation out of Saigon, the last helicopter out where people gripping, you know, that's what you're trying to go for. But that is true panic. That is, the enemy is
where I'm like,
and everywhere, and they're coming in and like
and your chest is tightening because you're like, are they gonna make it?
You see the threat, you know it's real, you know exactly who it is, like that's what they're trying to go for, but it was always, there just wasn't enough to sell it throughout all 3 episodes to make it hit in this moment.
Because the only person we have that's actually like the Circle is on Bajor.
Yeah, that's the only that's the only face, we see. Yeah. All right, where were we? Seats.
Seats. Okay.
Work. Okay.
And now, military arrives.
Yeah, the military arrives.
The Bajor military arrives. They come on the promenade, and where is everyone? The Federation really leave?
And again, you're seeing like 3 people, so there's no sense of them being like outnumbered. Because they keep saying, oh, they're outnumbered. It's like, I've seen like 6 dudes. They really don't seem outnumbered.
This is definitely when Sally, like, TV budget is probably hurting them.
This is where you have to think outside the box a bit, which normally they do rather well. They usually do a good job of adapting their budget. The great episodes, anyway. The truly great episodes, a lot of times you hear about them and you're like, oh, yeah, we had wanted to do more, but we actually had to cut this down. And a lot of times it's better for it. You realize, oh, yeah, I actually like it pared down. If they realize they could not portray an overwhelming force, maybe don't have 27 people stay behind on the station.
Oh, yeah. It's almost like not all the Federation people need to stay behind.
Right. Maybe have only like 3 people.
Which mean if the senior talking about they could have had, then would have made more sense. Like if you had a smaller group to work with, then we would even feel more tension of like, how are they going to get this plan in place?
Then at least, yes, you would have liked to have more extras.
no,
can't afford it. Okay, so let's cut down on the original plan. Let's have only a couple people stay. Maybe there's only 2. Maybe there's only
gold
1.
around.
Yeah, it's like, then at least when they say you're outnumbered, you can believe it, even if it's not quite at the scale you were hoping.
So where is everyone? In the vents.
They're in the vents.
We have these quick cut scenes with Dax and Kira. So the first one, they land on the moon. They find the ship. The only thing I really like about this is we start getting some sassy Dax.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, here we go. I got something I can hold on to. Because I'm like, oh, she's getting the personality starting to come out.
Yeah, their back and forth was pretty good.
Which is sad because I feel like they're delegated to like a nothing burger.
I mean, this is kind of the most important. If they can't do this, everyone in the station is there for nothing.
It's so weird because you're right, but yet it felt so like I didn't. Again, the tension, it wasn't there.
This should have felt like the rebels trying to get the plans away from Vader at the end of Rogue One.
I'm sorry,
even
the head when she's just like, here it is. They're like, okay, cool, we'll review this. Like everything is just very like, cool. Yeah. All right. That's how Kieran Texas plotline feels like. And they're supposed to have the most like crucial part.
And again, like, do you really buy that the Bajorans are going to shoot down each other? Like, they do a similar thing to this later in the show, and I feel like they do a little bit better job of handling like, this Bajoran on Bajoran violence. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Back to ops. So our general, he's dubious about this. He's like, something's not right. Because Odo's gone, Kira's gone. Where's Nala's? Like, all these people are gone. They're not a part of the Federation that should be here. And Charles like, So I know he's scanning, doing some scans. His second in command, Lieutenant, is the smug guy.
Colonel Day.
Oh, Colonel. The smug guy is like, victory. And he calls up Jaro. He's just like, they're gone. Do. And the general's like, whoa now. Caution. And the Eternal Network has been damaged. It's like, yeah, it's clear that something is going on, but yeah, the second in command is like, celebration.
And that's the thing. This whole relationship is weird because it's like he's the general, but this second in command keeps running off and doing his own thing.
Did he just start this position?
And the general just sort of ignores him. I mean, I guess.
Has this contentious relationship been going on the whole time?
You need to control your staff.
Seriously.
I guess maybe Colonel Day, which by the way, Colonel Day, that's a human name. Anyway, but maybe Colonel Day is a circle plant, so the general sort of knows that even though in name he's the general, he's not really in charge.
Got it. So he's like...
But I think then what you should have done is just have someone else take over and have this guy have been demoted. And he is now just trapped in the system.
Yes.
And is doing his best to maybe advise, but is obviously being overruled by his new circle planted overlord. But like having it be just this upstart yuppie contradicting everything he says, it's always kind of weird. And it makes then the general look impotent because he can't control his people.
I know, because it seems like he's side-eyeing him the whole time. Like,
and again, Day, I mean, he does a good job in the performance, but he's also a bit much. Like he's so. It's pretty obvious the role he's playing, so it's not like you fear him. He's too stupid.
And Jaro Wynn talk more, pretty much just reiterating the plan we already know. Getting too close for comfort. Gross. Dax and Kira get the ship going. And, I would not trust that thing. Okay, back to ops. We are in, Cisco's office. The second command, he's just getting real pissy. He's like, oh, you're just gonna wait for them to come and get you? And the general sees Sisko's baseball on the desk that he left behind. I always think it's interesting how Sisko does that every time he leaves.
Right. Basically, Crim's just like, I understand what attacks in the Vasco. I'm not going to. It's like, yeah, whatever. I'm sending out search parties. It's like, okay.
Again, he's just doing whatever he wants. And the general's like, yeah, okay, whatever. That makes you happy. Go do it. Lights out. Cut to the vents where Miles goes on and on about his love for food rations. Sisko not impressed.
Yep.
And then Bashir goes on about how he made a candy bar that's better than the food ration. Cool. Awesome.
Cool. Yep. Great scene. Yep.
They get word that I think because Odo's the
I think this entire thing just sets up a joke later when they give the Bajorans combat rations.
This is literally set up for that. Odo sees the search party going towards the cargo bays, which I guess is by Bashir and his group. And Bashir catches the group in the cargo bay and
oh my god, we have to
oh my
so
god.
they get word that they're heading towards the cargo bay. So I guess they're gonna set up an ambush. Which is just the most comical ambush, because one, Bashir really pulls his punches, has to do this one-liner.
And the way he's sitting with like his foot on the vet and he's just like leaning back with his gun.
And then half their people pop out of fucking barrels. Like a whack-a-mole game. It is wild.
It was pretty wild. And
so like between...
Are you sure you can't beat these guys? I know they have weapons, but I think that...
And I get what they're going with like the scrappy underdogs doing these things. It's almost very World War II resistance kind of stuff, or Hogan's Heroes or something. But again, we were paired this.
That's what this episode feels like. We could do Star Wars.
We had earlier this very tense evacuation where everyone's afraid for their lives. And now it just seems so wacky and the stakes seem so low.
Yes.
That you sort of wonder what everyone was afraid of.
Yes.
Did everyone have to leave? Would you believe that General Krim, who again seems like a good person, would go onto the station and start shooting civilians?
Yeah, why did everybody go? Like 6 people came on this ship. Literally the whole station could have just booted them right back onto the ships. And jettisoned them out. Like
you have to believe that there's a threat here.
Exactly.
And it just doesn't seem like these people aboard the station were the SS, purification squad here to purge the Xenos. You know what I mean? Like,
you're right. Yeah,
they were all like Quark was saying that I'm the kind of person they're going to line up and shoot. Like these guys, these guys are going to line up and shoot. Line you up and shoot you.
With what the Circle is doing and what they did to Quark, that is valid,
right? And so where are those people?
Where are those people? I could see the general being there, and then a group of the Circle being with him.
That's all. Yeah, and that's why I think he should have been replaced. He should have been demoted down to second, where now he has no real power to stop all this. But even though he seems to have no real control over Colonel Day, again, Day really doesn't seem threatening enough to pull this off either.
Oh,
and since he's still in charge of the name, like I just didn't believe for a second that anything really was going to happen to anyone.
Nope.
So it sort of just deflates everything they were trying to build to. All right.
Yep. So now we're out in space with Jax and Kira flying their rust bucket. Navigation is now offline. Fun. SAS levels are high.
You Starfleet types are too dependent on gadgets and gizmos. Hate to break it to you, but when you're in space, you kind of need gadgets and gizmos.
Kira's like, what is she doing? Like, doing the stars on her with her hand on the window. I'm pretty sure navigation is really important in space.
In space specifically, it is there's not a lot of landmarks.
Nah, Dax, she's just a weakling. She's too reliant on that.
But you get the idea, Starfleet very tech dependent, Bajoran scrappy. You get the idea.
And then
maybe just a bad example.
I guess they're in the Bajoran space because Bajoran ships start attacking them.
I mean, it's Bajor's moon. They're just going to the moon, to the planet.
Oh.
Yeah, really short distance.
Good thing that was a short distance because that ship was a golden bar.
I was gonna say it's basically just like a rocket engine. So how fast can it really go? Wouldn't this take like a week? Maybe it's a really close moon.
All right, back on DS9. So now Miles's team is trying to do something.
What are they trying to do?
I don't know.
Something.
Were they by security? I don't know.
They're in Odo's office.
Okay, but they get pinned down by a search party group. They're trying to do something. Cisco's team is on the way to help. Oh, they set off fog to help them out and
smoke screen,
Odo trips them, like literally becomes a string and trips.
Again,
I went,
it's pretty wacky. For people who are trying to tell us, we'll murder everyone they leave behind.
Yeah, these two aren't matching up. Okay. Kira and Dax are fighting too. Pew, 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 pew. And then they start to crash land. And then absolutely crash land.
And then they should be dead.
But they cut to black, so that means they're fine.
Yes. Or maybe that's the last thing they see.
On DS9, the search party gets some kind of notification that Quark's holosuite is in use. Again with the shenanigans, I can't believe they fell for this. Yeah, they go into the holosuite, and it looks like Cisco, Linus, and Odo are looking at a table, looking at plans. We're caught. They're like, ha ha ha. They go into the holosuite. The door closes. Oh no, that was all an illusion.
There were holograms in the holodeck? Holy shit. What?
Flip this table.
Oh.
I literally said out loud, you dum-dum. Because it was the second in command who was leading.
Yeah.
And
that's why he's
dum-dum.
Incompetent number one.
So what's interesting, while they're in here, Cisco tries to tell the second command what is going on with the Cardassians. Of course.
Cardassians are sponsoring the coup.
Of course, the second command's like fake news.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, well, your people are gonna get our lovely food rations. Here's our
payoff.
And he beams him out back to Ops, probably in hopes that he would relay this message to the general.
He couldn't just pump those speakers into Ops. Maybe it's too secure. He couldn't just call him on the comm. Maybe that'll give away his position.
That's the thing. There's so much going on with these shenanigans. And even that's probably why with Kira and Dax, like it's just like, oh, we're getting. It's just like it's so time consuming. That's it. Everything is shenanigans and time consuming.
Again, I'm reminded of the example I'll keep coming back to: battle lines, Kyle pocket the planet, and half the episode is Dax and O'Brien futzing around in a runabout.
But I honestly think this is worse. I think there's way more wasted time here because it's not just the B line, because we have the B line wasting. It's the A plot doing a lot of wasting too. And the things that I care about that I actually would like them to talk about, because we said this before, especially in the first episode, like there's important topics here. This is some really dramatic material here, and it's kind of wasted. And that's the heartbreaking part about this episode.
Yeah. It almost should have been some sort of Alamo Last Stand situation where you really get the sense of the ticking clock. Because the other thing is, it kind of seems like they're winning. So the fact that, if Kira doesn't get her proof to Bajor, we're toast. Doesn't hit as hard. It almost should have been
It's like they won it both at the same time.
If you want action, if you want an action-packed finale, make it an action-packed finale. Make it so like they're fighting, they keep pushed back. Maybe at some point they get surrounded and stuck in certain spots. So they're holding out. You have maybe some people get hurt, have stakes, because show that the circle's not playing. Like they want them dead.
It's hard because I know that Jaro being the face of the circle and him being on Bajor, like I get why Kira's going there, but I kind of think it would have been better if they all just stayed on DS9. Maybe the general came plus circle goons, and they focus on trying to just win over the general. Like, that's the key.
Yeah. Get him the proof, and then he stops it and brings the proof to Bajor. And
sneak the proof over. They just need to win someone in that group to get the... That way we can cut out this B plot and spend more time.
So instead of just the general showing up, the general shows up and he has his troops. But you also now have him accompanied by, let's call them the BB, which is the Bajoran SS. The BSS, right?
BB.
And you can tell that you
could have been
these...
Jorah's second commands.
Right.
Like, if you still need Jorah on Bajor, I get that. But he should have had a couple people that you saw
probably
in the last episode.
Earlier in this sequence, people who you
Let's
knew were
start
bad
rewriting this, Jonathan.
People who were, someone you saw was...
Maybe the people who did the torturing on Kira.
Did the torturing, maybe tie him to the branding,
and
too.
And then she would have had to face them in this episode. Jonathan, we have...
Tie him to the branding of Quark on the station.
Yes.
Maybe he's been there this whole time, and then he reunites with them when they board.
Oh, yes. We could have had one person on the station who's working with them.
But I think the key thing, though, is you have the regular Bajorans who are just in the military, who circling out controls, and these goons who you can tell they're uncomfortable with.
Yes.
But they recognize are sort of in charge. That sort of relic. Now you have the general. Yes, he's giving advice to a wall. They won't listen to him, but he's right. He won't risk his people, so they send their people, who are overzealous, who then you can see the difference, the xenophobia. You see the bloodlust in their eye. Like, you can tell, like, oh, these are the extremists.
That's what
that you have led into the government.
Yes, we needed to see those people.
Topically relevant. Mm-hmm. You can see, this uneasy alliance here of, like, the military's just been infiltrated.
That would really cue up the general to be sympathetic more towards Sisko than he already is from the previous episode because of the position he's in. That way, then their whole goal is just to get to this one guy because he can slip the information to the provisional government. He is the linchpin. That should have been the focus.
And you could have, if they want to do these diversionary things, you do a diversion where they're luring the circle people there. They have a big fight. Now you get your action-packed finale. That's when they do this, like, sneak around and and they're able to get to the general, show him the proof. And now, because this whole time, he's uncomfortable with the circle, but he doesn't have the will to take them head on because he still considers himself a patriot. He's like, well, if this is where Bajor is going, this is what I'm doing. I serve Bajor. But then they convince him that this is the way to go. His forces now turn on the circle, neutralize them, and that's how they sort of win the station. Then he takes the proof back to Bajor. He can come through with his men into the chamber triumphantly. Here's this proof.
Mm-hmm.
Your goons are gone.
Because if he can take them down, then he gets his position back. Or something back, at least. Okay, well,
anyway,
we need to rewrite this
something
trilogy.
Like that would have been much better. Because the other thing is, because you're right, they're stuck in this position where they don't want to paint the Bajorans as being too bad, because you do have to live with them after this episode's over.
Yeah, because there's no real...
Right. That's why they blame it all on the Cardassians.
Yes.
But still, we've heard about the beatings. These people who say Bajor for Bajorans. That's a real thing that still exists. They don't just go away. So
according to this show, they just did. They just, bye, God.
You need to show that not all Bajorans are the same. That there are, yes, in any group of people, there are these extremists. The problem here is just that the extremists have managed to take over a level of power disproportionate to their voice. But that on the whole, most Bajorans don't agree with them.
Oh.
They are given more power by the Cardassian influence. And that's why revealing that the Cardassians are arming them dismantles that power and sends the extremists back to the fringes where they belong, to where the more reasonable Bajorans can take over again. That's what you needed to show, not just have them brand someone, which is a horrifying act, and then just never show those people again.
Yeah. Brand, torture.
You have to face the fact that those people existed.
They're in
deal with
your
them.
community, but no, everything's cool now. Jarrah's gone.
Yeah, we revealed it was the Cardassians. Okay, anyway.
Okay, so the second command, he lies to the general because the general's like, what did
he talk to you about?
What did Cisco let you go?
I promised him amnesty.
But of course I'm not giving him that. And general's just like, God, you're a bad liar.
You're a dick.
All right. Kira and Dax are in trouble because during the crash landing, of course, Kira got hurt.
Go figure. I'm amazed you're alive.
And then I don't know, they're being followed by the Bashor.
And Dax is like in pain, and she has a moment where the pain overcomes her, but the face she gives.
Kira's face is unfortunate.
It looked like something. It looked like she was thinking of Barial in that moment.
Which, not too far off.
So she
summoned
out.
him.
And we don't know what happens to them. Dun, dun, dun.
Back on DS9, military's trying to smoke them out. Literally.
They're going to start gassing the conduits.
And now Cisco is prepping Linos to convince the general about Kardashian involvement. And this kind of makes me sad because I felt like we spent so much time on Linos. Like, it's for this moment, kind of. But because this moment is kind of like...
Also, it's done off screen.
It's done off screen. I felt like we spent a whole episode on him. And then he just went to the back burner. And Bajor, Kira wakes up in a Veretic Bay's bed room.
Yep.
And now Kira and Dax have to dress up as Vedics because that's the only way they're going to be able to infiltrate the provisional government. Dax has little nose bridges. She's like, how do they look? I think I'm going to keep them. In the vents... Bashir tries to tell Quark to leave the gold.
Oh my God, the whole thing with him trying to take his gold. Bashir gets mad at him, goes, now we gotta move because they're gonna flood this thing with gas, which they never do because we never see it. And then Quark doesn't actually leave the gold, and nothing happens. Great scene. Moving on.
And apparently they're gonna go to create a diversion in airlock 14, so Linos can speak to the general, which happens in the next scene. And like you said, it happens off screen. So, guess those persuasive skills were high.
Yep.
But it doesn't matter because, like, literally seconds after Lee Knowles talks to him, he hears the news. Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, literally, Lee Knowles it's useless. And I kind of feel bad for the character because he was set up so great in episode 1 and then was given nothing these 2 episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why our version's better.
Yeah, we would give him something important to do in our version.
Well, that's the thing. In our version, they have to convince the general to get the proof out at all. So it is all on Lee Knowles to make this happen.
Okay, see,
we get to see his speech.
Yes, we would give him such a great speech.
Oh, yeah. To really show him like coming into his own and actually starting to take on the mantle of the legend he's been shying away from.
Because Cisco's like, dying is easy, living is hard.
And if you're Barial, living is very hard. Anyway.
Bajor, Kira breaks up the meeting. For some reason, this all feels odd. I can't...
It's such a tiny room for the government of Bajor.
It's just like, they're just chilling. I don't know. Just something about it.
Yeah, they're basically all sitting at a table, and they come and go, we have proof.
We have proof.
And they go, okay.
And then...
It's sort of an odd sequence. And also, here's the thing. It's like, when... What always gets to me...
At first, she's like, how dare you? And then Kira gives a little bit of information about, like, the Cardassians and what's going on. And then Wynn's like, oh, let's look over this evidence.
And she takes it. And I kind of felt like screaming at her, like, don't let Wynn take the only copy. That's not your only copy, right?
Please tell me you duplicated that.
Whoops, I dropped it.
And then Jaro just complies. He's like, I guess I don't know.
So what they're going for here's what they're going for. They come in, Jaro tries to have them arrested, but they're like, nope, we have proof. Mm-hmm. This coup is being supplied by the Cardassians. And Jaro resists it at first, but Wynn, seeing where the wind is blowing, turns on him by taking the proof and being like, this deserves an investigation. And they sort of they lock eyes for a second, and he realizes he's done. Mm-hmm. So that's when he folds suddenly and says, you're right. I support any investigation that, I fully can support this investigation.
Yeah.
He only does that
because
after she effectively turns on him. After they're being all buddies. And so
I get that's what happens. I just...
It's not done well. Jaro, I forget the actor's name. He's a fairly big deal, but he's fairly stiff in all these episodes. Mm-hmm. There needed to be more in that look between the two of them of like, et tu, Brute? Because this is an important moment for Wynn, because it shows how ruthless she is. She switches at the drop of a hat.
As we said before, Jaro's a true believer. She's a survivor. Opportunist.
Yeah, she's an opportunist. And that sets her up for later when she does become Kai.
We never figure out, did Jaro know about this?
I think he truly
did, but because of how stiff he was, like, I didn't...
Yeah, it's hard. You can't read him.
I kind of wanted that moment of realization of like, it went too far.
Either him realizing it went too far, or just in complete denial and like
denial. Yeah, something.
Some kind of emotion, not just him saying.
Just when he locked eyes for it, it was just kind of
yes, I fully support this investigation.
Yeah, it was just like so dead.
Yeah, it was completely one note from everything he'd done before.
And I needed a decision. Like I get why he's like, okay, it's done. I go, but I needed something here of like, okay, what does this mean? Are you in shock? Did you go too far? Are you angry because of what? Like, of this betrayal? Like, the Kardashians took over? Nothing. We got nothing. And I think that's why it was so unsatisfactory when he leaves.
Yep.
You're right.
That's the last you see of him in this whole thing. He's just like, he just walks off.
Like, we don't know anything that happens to him. Nothing. And when you're right, she does a great job with the term. She nailed it. She's great at this material. It was the actor who played Jaro. I needed a decision. I needed some character choice decision going on in his face.
And then Kira's just left there looking sort of awkwardly around like, well, I guess I
did it.
I guess we win? Question mark?
And then they go to Ops where the general's like, why didn't you tell? To a second, he's like, why didn't you tell me? And Second's like, it's all lies. And he's like, no, it's not, because the provisional government just told me. So I'm like, so did Linos tell you?
There's only one general we have to convince. This one. Oh, never mind. We don't actually have to convince them.
And that's the thing. That's why when you have two things going on like that, where either one could work and actually win you the day, you needed just one avenue. Yeah, he heard the evidence was on Bajor. And then I guess everything's falling to pieces for the second, and he decides to try to kill Cisco. And Lee Nells goes, no, and dives in front of him, and he did.
Yep.
He did. He's like, I guess I'm going to get off easy. Because, Cisco told him.
Yeah.
Bye, Lee Nells. So we go to our kind of epilogue of our trilogy year. And I guess Kira and Cisco are shooting some back. I didn't realize Miles was there until Kira was leaving. And I'm like, oh, Miles is there too. Because the wait stage, it looks like it's just
wants
Kira's
to be anywhere but home right now.
It looks like
Not if I hang out in here, but sir. Keiko's kind of mad at me.
Just being sad. Talking about late nose. Kira heads out, and Miles goes, hey, why does she talk about Lee Knowles that way? Like he's some larger-than-life figure. And Cisco's like, know what, Miles? Shut your mouth. And then he leaves to go back to his son. No, I'm joking. But kind of.
Yep.
I don't know. Again, especially since kind of the mid-ending Lee Knowles got to have it end with this.
Catching strays from O'Brien. And I think
not gone through enough.
To me, I get it. Lee Knowles always came across as sort
quieter
of a dud.
figure. Yeah. Not the way Kira describes them.
Right.
It was just weird coming from Miles.
You're right. I think the point that you made is, but we only really see Cisco having these interactions when he reveals what kind of person he really is.
Mm-hmm.
So what the fuck are you talking about, Miles? What do you know?
What do you know?
You don't
Go
know
back
me.
to your wives. Why are you here?
Leonard's ghost just come and be like, let's go. Well, you don't know me. Get the fuck out of here.
It's just so weird.
Yeah, so I think you could have, again, fixed that with having him be a fly on the wall in some of those scenes, maybe, or just have him maybe giving Leonard some looks when Leonard is doing his awkward shtick.
It was just the fact it was Miles. Oh, like...
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I think this all just sums up this arc and why it really doesn't hit as hard as you feel like it should. There's something there. They could have had something that deals with some important topics, some dramatic events.
Because this episode was good. The opener, I thought, had some really interesting themes about being the symbol, being who they need you to be. Even though this
definitely some great quotable lines from Sisko, some classic Star Trek wisdom.
So I felt like it was setting him up to really do something kind of magnificent, kind of really lean into being the symbol and kind of making up for kind of being a little bit of a fraud for all say, but he rose to the occasion.
That was the general scene that we didn't have. That is done off screen and didn't matter.
And that was immediately undermined.
Yeah.
Immediately undermined.
I guess you could say his moment, the only one that we see, and it is a pretty good one, but it's when he's in the hallway and he does a speech to the Bajorans to get them to give up their seats, right? So he has something, but it's like for what it could have been.
Yes.
And what they were building to, you're right, it is the conversation with the general, convincing him of their evidence, but it was just because of 10 other different decisions they had made.
Because the whole thing about this trilogy is extremism coming in, and during these uncertain times where there's a vacuum, and needing men like Leonals to try to bring the people back to balance, to try to bring back the Bajorans to the people that they are, and not listen to this extremism. And he does that a little here and there, but it's so undermined by the end because of everything that happens with the extremism, how it's just kind of let go. No, it should be addressed, and it should have been Lee Nullis who started addressing it, who started talking to the people and start he should have lived and gone on to go to Bajor to root out these extremism and help bring balance back to the Bajoran government. He should have been a figure that went in. He should have gone what they were hoping for, but Jaro circumvented him and threw him back to DS9. But now that him and the Circle aren't there, he can come in and help be the man that they were hoping he would be and help Bajor lead back. Then that would make sense. Maybe why we didn't see the Circle kind of get addressed. But if Lenos is going to Bajor, then it can be this hope, he's going to try to kind of curtail this extremism from coming back.
And I think you could still have him die and still do that through some sort of parting words, something that they show getting passed around.
Yeah, something like that. I would have been okay with that. But
something that lives beyond him, that he inspires, but you don't get any sense that anything he does inspires the rest of Bajor and persists beyond him. He needs to leave behind some kind of legacy besides the one he already had. Obviously, they already thought he was a war hero, but he should have left with some sort of parting words to Bajor.
Yes. Instead of
to guide them on the track.
I'm gonna take the easy way
Peace out, suckers.
I'm taking the easy way out.
That's your last words? Fuck. You are a fraud after all.
So, just that whole thing, the episode isn't great, but I think it's what happened, especially with Lee Nullis and what happened with the Circle, everything, all of that really just made this a stinker of an ending for this trilogy.
Yep.
Which is such a bummer. They had so much good stuff going here. And they just went, yeah, that's it.
Yep. Well, thankfully, they learn their lesson and they do much better arcs later. It's just a shame that it had to come at the price of this one.
Yeah.
Because it really could have been something.
Yeah.
Well, here's what we get.
that first episode made me hopeful.
Yeah.
Do you know what's coming up after this? I didn't even see what's after this episode.
There's some good ones.
Do you know the name of the next one? What's our next episode?
So in 2 weeks we will be back with invasive procedures.
Okay.
I don't remember this one.
And it's interesting. I don't remember a lot about the second season. I remember way more about season 1 than I do about the second season. I am drawing a lot of blanks about this season, so it's going to be an interesting ride.
Yeah, there's a reason.
You never know. Like with season 1, maybe we'll find some gems up in here.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there are.
I'll just be even more surprised because I don't remember.
It's kind of that way a lot all the way until season 4, really, when it becomes kind of a new show.
Okay. Yeah.
But hopefully. Actually, no, there's plenty of good ones in season 3, too.
I
guess I feel like more consistent. It reinvents itself a bit in season 4 and becomes a little more consistent, I think.
Okay. I think this is the season where it's just a big old question mark.
Yeah. All right.
Any more thoughts before we move on?
I think we pretty well covered it.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and write my fanfic and my spec script for this trilogy.
Let's get it made. Make it with AI.
No!
No!
All right. Bye.
Bye.